Hello, hello, hello. It's Knits for Sanity and welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for popping in. I hope you stick around for a little while. I am so happy that you came and you joined us. And of course, if you are a regular visitor, thanks for coming back. I truly always love having you. So today I'm doing something a little bit different from many of the other episodes on my channel. And that is both a continuation as well as kind of like a class / in-depth look at something. So a little over a month ago, I did something that I called the Great TEMU Unboxing of 2024. And it was hours, and I got it down to 2.5 hours long of looking at all kinds of different, mostly diamond painting related crafts that I got off from TEMU. It was a ton of fun. That in and of itself was it was a fun video to do. But what I discovered during that process is I had so much stuff, and there were two other items that I realized really they needed their own separate videos. The first I've already done, and that kind of inadvertently became its own video series where I was comparing the brand new mini paint kits that you can find on TEMU with Paint Gem. And now that's kind of launched down this whole other path of comparing mini paint kits from various companies. And this is the second video that I wanted to do. So TEMU, as you know, offers many different diamond painting related crafts, but they also have a huge number of full drill diamond paintings. For the most part, I have shied away from purchasing those, having anything to do with those. And there's a couple of reasons for that. But first, I think I need to explain something about TEMU, just in case you have missed it somehow, or you're just not quite sure. TEMU is kind of like an Amazon in that it is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of different sellers with their own little shops selling things on this one platform. And that's important to keep in mind when we talk about the different kits that I get off from TEMU. So that is the first bit of information that I want you to tuck that away and kind of keep that in the back of your head for when we start looking and comparing different full drill kits that I did pick up off from TEMU. The reason why I've kind of just avoided buying full drill kits from TEMU is twofold. The first one, of course, is you got to be so cautious of purchasing stolen artwork specifically from these independent artists. Yes, it is still wrong to, steal art that was originally licensed by, some of the big companies that I don't even want to mention on here out of fear. But, yes, that's still wrong. But there's something slightly different and more egregious in my mind about stealing art from these independent artists who are trying to do it on their own. So specifically the hot ones right now that I see all over on TEMU, as well as other venues similar to TEMU, are Hannah Lynn is right now, she's a hot seller with stolen art all over the place. This is because she is transitioning between two companies, well, kind of three companies. She went from having all of her artwork at Diamond Art Club, or most of her artwork at Diamond Art Club, to now she's transitioning to having her art published with Art and Soul, as well as a few designs with Dreamer Designs. And what's happening is, because there's so much of her artwork no longer available in diamond painting through official channels, you're seeing a lot more of her stolen stuff appearing. Other artists that I see a lot, Randall Spangler with his cute little dragons, that's all over the place. Yumi Art, she has a lot of stolen art on there. Now, those are three larger names, but it may surprise you to know just how conniving some of this stolen art can happen. And that's why I have this piece sitting right here. So this was gifted to me. It's an adorable piece, but of course I got it and I went, this has got to be stolen art. And is it from an independent artist? Let's find out. A Google search, so like a reverse image search, which can be done if you go to like the Google website. Maybe I can like screenshot it and circle and put it up here. But if you go to the Google website and in the search bar to the right, there will look to be like a camera symbol. If you click on that, then you can select a photo from your camera roll and they will search the internet for you to see where else they find that photo appear. So I did that with this image, and it took a little bit because it popped up a few different places, but through some digging, what I eventually found was this was created by an artist named Amber Ramirez, and it was created way back in 2014, 10 years ago. And you know, the only place that it was listed online was as an Etsy post for a specifically made for someone ACEO, or art cards, editions, and originals. I got in contact with Amber. I have spoken with her personally, and she gave my permission to not only show you this final rendering, but also show you this information too with her original Etsy post. And in my notes, I will include the link to her Etsy shop, as well as you can follow her on Instagram. She's primarily a tattoo artist and she's phenomenal. But this image was only posted in that one location 10 years ago. And it was still found, still made into a diamond painting, and kind of frustratingly, a really good diamond painting. It really turned out so cute, but Amber didn't receive any compensation for this. And Amber is exactly that kind of small, independent artist. She's trying to make it on her own, and this is what happens. And she will tell you this is not the first time. She's had it happen several times before. Sometimes she's able to fight it. Quite often she isn't. So just that is, big reason number one why I've kind of avoided purchasing off from TEMU. Reason number two is quality issues with the renderings. Not so much the actual renderings on the canvas. I mean the renderings by AI art, which there's a whole can of worms with AI art too. I don't really want to get into that right now. That's not really what this episode is meant to be about. Instead, I want to take you through some of the examples that you can find on TEMU of AI art and why you may not want to purchase these. So, example number one. Here we have a really cute image of this adorable book girl or library girl surrounded by books, one or two cute little animals, really cute. Until you blow up her right hand and then you go, ew. Now, maybe they're just trying to, give credence to people who in the cat world we would say are polydactyl. I'm not sure if we use the same term with humans, but it all stems from the same genetic thing. Actually, it's called the sonic gene that determines how many fingers you have. I watched a whole documentary about it. It was very interesting. But anyway, I don't think that's what they were aiming for with this. This is just clearly AI art not able to handle hands. And you're going to see this repeatedly. Example number two. Here we have this Daisy grandma with her cats. Super cute, kind of crazy looking old woman here. And then you blow up her left hand. And it looks almost like it's two hands kind of fisted together like this. Almost like, does she have three hands total? No, it's clearly not right. The AI was unable to accurately get just one hand fisted with some daisies. Instead, it's like it put two hands together like this. It was confused. Sometimes it's a little bit less noticeable, like this image where you have this super bright, colorful image. I call her Rainbow Girl with White Cat. These are my made-up names for these things. And it looks like it might be pretty legit until you blow it up and you look at that left hand again. Now carefully count those fingers. There are 6. Again, maybe they are trying to, show acceptance for people who have extra digits, but I don't think so. Finally, even when there's nothing exactly wrong with an image, like this one right here, I called them adorable headband girls. Really, really cute. You blow it up and there's nothing exactly wrong. Like, I can't count extra digits. It's not really guaranteed that there are missing fingers, but it just doesn't look right. It doesn't really look like fingers. It just doesn't look quite right. So that is reason number 2 that I've kind of avoided purchasing off from TEMU. There are, of course, some pieces of art that you can get that are open source. And those, as long as they have been obtained through legal means, which again, really hard to know with sellers on TEMU if they have been obtained through legal means, those are totally okay and can be used. And there are a few of those available. Okay, but I hear you. I've been listening to you. And coming from a family where the month is longer than our paycheck, I get it. Budget-friendly diamond art kits are needed. It is a necessity within our field, within our industry. Every once in a while, yeah, it's great to be able to splurge for the independent artist, quality kit, strongly backed by a phenomenal diamond painting company, whether small or large. It's wonderful being able to make that purchase. I love, especially being able to support smaller diamond painting companies. The small independent diamond painting companies supporting the small independent artists. I love being able to do that. But realistically, it's not something that I can afford to do all of the time. And like I said, I've heard you. That's what you've been saying to me is, hey, Knits, what are my options here? I want to buy from those companies, but I can't afford to. I feel you. So I finally decided, let's go ahead and we're going to order some full drill diamond paintings from TEMU. And we're going to examine them and see what it is that we're kind of looking at in this venue. So obviously, given the 2 caveats that I've mentioned, those are the 2 things that I was most closely paying attention to when I purchased the art. The first, can I do a Google reverse image search on this item and discover that it was clearly made by an independent artist? These were all items where no, I could not. I might be wrong. If you happen to know an original artist for any of these, please let me know because I want to be able to give them credit for that. But that was obviously item number 1. And item number 2 was doing kind of a close examination of the art itself. And, it's kind of hard because you're dealing with small little images, but trying to make sure that at least the AI generated stuff looked legit, looked like it was possible. So those are the 2 things that I used when I was searching for my art on TEMU. Also, in addition to that, I purchased from a few different companies that were represented on TEMU. I am hoping to be able to locate the store name for every single one of these items, and I will put that on the screen for you so you can know exactly which shop it was that I got this from, bearing in mind that a lot of these items are sold in multiple shops. Someday I would like to do a shop comparison where I buy what looks to be the exact same item from 2 different shops on TEMU, and we'll see. Is it the exact same item? I don't know. That's not what is happening in this video. Instead, I just tried to make sure that I was choosing from a few different stores. Then, how am I going to go about grading these diamond paintings? So overall, I think what we're looking for is quality, right? What is the quality of these kits? And I'm using 4 measures that we will grade for quality. The first is tools. What are the tools that come with the kit? How good of tools are they? Included in tools will be the packaging. So I consider that kind of in that whole tool like category, I guess, is, how good is the packaging of the diamond painting itself as well. So the first we'll be looking at tools. The second category is we are going to examine the drills, the actual, diamonds of diamond art, and kind of see, without having actually done a kit, how good are the drills? Are there a lot of different shaped drills, a lot of trash drills? And that category is going to be a little bit harder for us to examine without having done these diamond paintings. Just for me personally, I find I don't really know how good the drills are or are not until I start working on my kits. But we'll do the best we can. The third category is the canvas. What is the quality of the canvas? This canvas right here, this is an amazing canvas. It has this flocked background. Check this out. Everything to prevent fraying up here. I mean, this canvas is an amazing quality canvas. And the drills actually were pretty decent drills. And they even came with some special drills, which will be included with our drill portion too. Are there special drills included? So number 3 is canvas. And finally, the fourth and final item that we'll be looking at for quality is the overall art and what appears to be the art rendering. Again, without being able to complete the whole canvas, it's kind of a bit of a question mark. I can get a pretty good idea if we will be looking at something that will be well rendered when completed, or if we're going to be looking at something that's going to kind of look like a splotchy mess, if you will, where you're not really sure what you're looking at with the end product. We'll just have to take our best guess. Eventually, when I get 1 or 2 of these completed, I will come back and we will examine the individual paintings more closely, and going back over those 4 areas, we may regrade. But for now, we will start here. So again, what are the 4 quality items that I will be examining? Tools, including packaging, the drills, including special drills that may or may not be available, quality of the canvas, and then the overall quality of the art and the rendering of that art. All right, so hang tight and I will be right back with some kits for us to look at. I'm back. So the first examples that I have here, I'm thinking may end up being the highest quality kits that I found on TEMU. Possibly. I'm not, obviously 100% sure without exhaustively looking through the thousands upon thousands, if not millions of items on TEMU. But they both came from the same company. It was one of the few companies I found that offered both round and square drill kits. What you're going to find on TEMU is it's mostly round drill items, but this company offered both. So I went ahead, I found 2 images that I liked. They are AI generated, and I kind of just stayed away from people. After showing you those images, it's maybe best just to stay away from people. So they are of plants and things like that. So we are going to take a look at these. These kits, as we can see already from point number 1 of our quality, where we are looking at tools, including the packaging. These came quite well packaged. They are in branded, labeled bags by this seller called Centerwan, which is probably not how you say it at all in Chinese, and I don't know what it means in Chinese. So that's what I'm calling it, is Centerwan. And, they're full plastic in here. The kits, I can tell you, they are wrapped around a foam centerpiece, which some people like that, some people don't like that. I don't think it's necessary, but still it definitely does show an extra level of care with their packaging. And these are pretty high quality zipped bags. This one comes with an actual zipper piece. This one is also in a resealable bag. So the packaging, I would say, is actually pretty decent. It's a pretty thick bag here. Okay, so packaging so far seems to be okay. Let's go ahead. We're going to pull out the first one. And let me read to you how this painting was described on TEMU. So this is your round drill kit, and it is boasted as having a luxurious velvet cloth, oversized partial AB drills, round drills, full drill diamond painting. Okay, so that is how it has been advertised. And this particular one, I mean, the price will be up here as well, but it was $8.98 when I bought it. So for $9, what did I get? Oh, I knocked my light. Pull out that. All right. So what we are examining first is tools. And so that included the packaging. Yes, I don't know, can you see? There is that foam roller in here. This has been taped down. I imagine this tape, I should have no problem, hopefully. Removing the tape. Oh. All right. Tape has been removed. Yeah. And I mean, it appears that the packaging for this was decent. I don't see any like visible anything wrong with this on the like surface outside. So now we're going to move on to the actual toolkit. This is a canvas bag. It is labeled Center One. This is not dissimilar to a number of diamond painting companies that are stateside and you know, sell the really high quality art. This is quite lovely. So we're going to open it up and we'll see what's inside. Oh my. Okay, so inside three different drill pens, you know, your standard drill pens. They do all come with the spongies here just for comfort. And definitely if you end up using these, you're going to want to put these on your pens. I can never get them on. Oh, wait. I did it. I got one on. That's amazing. And I think the reason why they included three is because there's actually 3 different size multi-placers that have come on these. It looks like we have like a 3, a 5, and a 7. Or maybe 3, 7, 9. I don't really know because I use a 4-placer. But 3 different size multi-placers are on here. And I think that's why there's 3 different drill pens that came with this kit. This is our wax. It is in an actual container, which is also very, very nice, kind of above and beyond. It does help keep your wax fresh for longer. And then look at all of these patties of wax. 4, 6 wax patties are in here. Purple wax patties. The wax is fresh, very, very pliable, totally ready to use. You know, keep in mind wax patties, they always have plastic on both sides of the wax that you're going to have to take off before you're able to use it. Way more than enough wax. My guess is, you know, 1 wax patty probably would get you through the painting. Maybe 2 if you're kind of wax heavy. So plenty of wax available in here, and it's nice wax. Even the fact that it's purple and not your standard pink wax is different, and it, you know, it shows a different level of care for their product. They clearly do try and have a purple theme going on here, which I can appreciate. You know, they're trying to build something with that. All the way down to their tweezers are indeed a light purple tweezer. They are not the worst tweezers that I have gotten in diamond painting kits at all. And yeah, I mean, they're not amazing tweezers, but they do have that angled tip. They're not super pointy or sharp. But yeah, as far as tweezers go, they're not bad. we do have a bunch of little baggies in here, which is kind of amusing that they gave us the extra baggies. And I'll tell you why in a minute. And then finally, look at the size of this drill tray. This is really big. It has a stopper. Oh, I see. That just snaps, maybe. Okay, with a little work, this stopper, it's easier to open than it is to close. To close it, I kind of gotta like maneuver the plastic sides, but it comes undone really, really well. Which that's what you want, because obviously you can put it together and then pour your drills in here, but then to remove your drills, you're gonna want something that snaps open pretty easy to pour them out. The tray itself, it lies pretty flat on my desk, flat enough that I imagine this is quite usable, and we'll test that out too with some of their own drills, and I'll tell you what I think after I kind of shake it a little bit. Toolkit, as far as toolkits that I've seen, this is pretty gosh darn amazing for a budget company toolkit. So if we're giving this like a 5-star ranking out of 5 stars, I would say this is probably like a 4.5-star toolkit and quality packaging for budget companies. And that's critical here. I'm just thinking budget companies. Okay. So forget about all the super wonderful independent diamond art companies that are giving us their own like personally made drill trays. No. Just budget companies. This is like a 4.5 out of 5 star. This is pretty gosh darn good. All right, let's set this stuff aside. And the next thing we're looking at are the drills, right? And kind of like drill quality. Naturally, because these are budget companies, I am pretty certain that we are only going to see acrylic drills, which is fine. I've spoken about acrylic versus resin drills many, many times before. Both of them actually do have their benefits and drawbacks. Yes, resin is considered kind of the nicer between the two at present. Just it does have a little bit better of a shine and sheen to it, meaning it's more sparkly than acrylic. But most of the time, for your lay person, unless they're side by side, you're not going to know the difference. So these are acrylic drills. And how do I know that? First, because it's a budget company, but then also these acrylic drills, they have little dimples. Some of them have little dimples like on their butt, on the underside. I don't know if you can see any little dimples, but some of them have little dimples. Also, the fact that there is not, there's not a lot of trash in here. Meaning there's not a lot of extra plastic pieces that are not drill size. The drills don't have a lot of overpour to them where there's like skirts around the bottom of the drill. Those are very characteristic resin things. And acrylic, you don't have that nearly as often. So we're going to take this. This is a lighter shade drill, which is why I selected it. And we're going to pour it out in here. Now, I am including, even though it probably should have been included with the tools section for grading, I am including how the drills come to us. They come pre-bagged and numbered, meaning this is ready to go. You can start diamond painting almost from the get-go because this is already like kitted up essentially. So huge bonus there. So kind of mixing this up a little bit, doing a little shake. The drill tray is actually pretty good. It is. So the drill tray, the drill tray is nice in case you were wondering. Examining these drills, let me hold them up for you. They are very faceted. Yeah, definitely they are heavily faceted. I am seeing very consistent shape and size with this pour out. I don't know what fell down. Something just fell down behind me. It must be a ghost. I see one. Where are my, oh, you know what? Well, you know what? We're going to try using their tweezers. I do see here one defective drill. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to get that in focus. I'll put it up here. Maybe now you can see it. So just this one defective drill right there. I saw that one. So pull that out. I don't see any others that immediately draw my attention. So they are consistent in shape. There was only one drill in this initial pour and shake that was defective. Multifaceted, consistent color as well as shape. These are pretty lovely drills. The drill tray, because of the plastic that it is, it definitely succumbs to static a little bit more. So making it a little bit harder to pour the drills out, but otherwise the tray worked well that way. Now, it advertises having AB drills in here. So we're gonna pull those out and see how many AB drills are in here. Going through the drills one by one, I found 3. I also kind of cheated and unrolled the canvas a little bit. As you can see, there was no like legend sheet that came with this kit. I would consider that to fit in with like the toolkit portion, which is part of the reason why it did not receive a full 5 stars. There was no legend available beyond what's on the canvas. Kind of a minor point. You often are not going to get that with a budget company. But I did roll open the canvas a little bit to look at the legend on the side of the canvas to see if they told me which drills would be AB, and it didn't let me know. Instead, these are just numbers 3, 15, and 29 with the DMC code attached to them. So I went through the drills one by one in order to find the AB colors, and there are these 3. They are really nice ABs. Again, let's look at this light color. I find lighter colors are usually easier for you guys to view. In person, this AB coating on this drill is a quality AB coating. This is very similar to what you will see with other diamond art companies that have acrylic AB drills. You know, some of them, I don't know. If you've been diamond painting a while, you know that sometimes the AB coating is kind of weird looking. And this is not like that. This looks really, really good. This is a nice AB coating. And 3 colors in a kit is not bad. Particularly, it's a 40 color kit. So 3 ABs, so that's like 7% of your drills are an AB color. I don't feel like that's very bad at all. That seems to be a reasonable number of AB colors available in this kit. The drills, for being acrylic drills, seem really quite nice. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to pour out 1 bag of ABs in our drill tray that came with the kit. All right, here they are. It is a consistent coating of the AB drills. Quite often you will see, you know, in a basic pour like this, you will see some naked ones, some that were missed with the AB coating. And looking at this, I don't see any that have been missed. Some have been hit a little bit harder than others, meaning, I don't know if you can see this drill right here. Looks like it's gotten maybe a little bit more of the coating than some of the others. that bothers me less than, like, here's another one. That bothers me less than not having any coating at all. This particular pour out, I do not see any trash drills with this particular pour out either. Really nice AB drills. All right. Our drills, without working the canvas, and therefore without knowing whether or not I have enough drills, although it looks like it, I am really tempted to give this a 5 out of 5 stars. These are really good drills. And again, we're talking budget company, but these acrylic drills are nicer than some acrylic drills that I've gotten from, your so-called like quality diamond art companies. And the next thing we're looking at is the overall quality of the canvas. So we will unroll it. Here is that plastic inner tube. It is a poured glue canvas. They did not lie. This is a gorgeous, soft, flecked background on this canvas. Wow, it does. It feels really, really nice. And here you can see too, we have all of the fray prevention that you would anticipate seeing on a quality canvas that's on here. So far so good. One thing that is kind of nice when they come rolled around those styrofoam center tubes is they lie flat even faster and easier. It's upside down. Hold on. Let me show it to you the right way. But anyway, the styrofoam tubes, love them or hate them, I do feel like they help you get your canvas flatter faster. So that is one thing that I appreciate. The canvas is not at all dissimilar to quality canvases. A couple of the things that I look for is how centered is the drill area on the canvas. Quite often you'll have canvases that are printed way over, and then the glue could be poured really wonky because of that. This image, I can't quite get the full thing in for you to see, but it is very centered on this canvas. Very, very centered. It appears that you have about the same amount of white space on each corner. Taking my measuring tape, we will look. So 1 inch. 1 inch. 1 inch. And I'm just going from the pinpricks to the drill, the poured glue area. 1 inch. It is perfectly centered on this canvas. So high marks for that. You have legends on both sides of the canvas, which for me, because I will use washi tape around the outside of this, I will need to make a photocopy of this legend in order to be able to complete this canvas. Not a big deal. I'm pretty used to doing that. You have pretty standard labeling on here too. Up here you have this company with their logo, I guess, is up on the top. On the bottom, you do have basic information here. It's telling you that this canvas size is a 40 by 55, and it even is converted into inches, which is pretty crazy coming from China. It tells you that it's round diamonds. Oh, look down here. It does say 40 colors, including 3AB. It says that it is a pro level with 21,948 diamonds. And here's your little image. I don't know if you can really see this. I will have shown you, though, the larger image already, too. So you do know what it's supposed to look like. Now, we're going to look at the glue for this. Oh, yeah, this is a nice poured glue. Oh, I hate doing this, but for you guys, I will. Oh, yeah, very sticky, My fingerprint is now there permanently. And then I look at poured glue area. It is just starting over the numbers here. Like where my fingernail is, that's where the poured glue starts on this side. Not terrible. That's maybe a 1/4 inch over. And then on the base, it is almost right to that black line. Let's examine the opposite corner so that we can get all 4 sides here. See how consistent this is. So up here, all right, the glue is slightly off. So it is right at the black line on the other side. And it is a little bit higher up here too. So the glue pour is fine. All of the drills are covered. The glue pour is just slightly off from center. So it was poured so that it is, how can I, so like here's your canvas and the glue has been poured so that it is like, instead of being centered, it's like this. Just ever so slightly up and to the right, but like less than a 1/4 inch, like maybe 2/8 of an inch. That's it. So it's a pretty clean poured glue application. The drills are all covered. The front of the canvas is soft. The legibility of these symbols, I will blow you up. The legibility of these symbols is fantastic. The places that I am seeing where I could have some trouble, let's see, is here. Sorry about the glare. Again, it's a very cloudy day today, so it makes my lighting hard. This is going to be the hardest symbol to see because it is a black E on a relatively dark blue background. When, you know, versus right on top of that, you have the D. They made that one white on the darker blue background. But for some reason, they did not make the E white. Having made the E white, that would have made this a little bit easier to see. But that is the only symbol that's jumping out at me as one that's a little bit more difficult for me to see, but minor. Like, I can still see it. I'll be able to figure it out, particularly when it's the only one I'm spotting being a little more hard to see. Blow you back out. So, canvas quality. I don't even think I can deduct for that tiny little bit off glue. You know what? I'll deduct 0.25 points. 4.75 for quality of the canvas. Amazing quality canvas for a budget company. I am really, really impressed. And then, of course, our final category is looking at the art. What do we think of the art? So this one, we're going to have to both look at this image and then compare it with this image. And this is one that is very hard to give an accurate rating for. So instead, I'm not going to give you a star review for this. I'm going to leave it as a question mark with some opinions. Firstly, it's very, very smart if you're going to do AI art to make it somewhat unrealistic but still believable. Meaning we are dealing with multiple colors that you aren't necessarily going to see in real life, but it still makes sense in our brain, right? Like we still know we're looking at a landscape. We still know that there is, you know, a barn that's in the background. There is obviously a lake or a river. It looks like it's a river that the moon is being reflected on, but there are colors involved here that aren't necessarily realistic. I have found that that tends to be a pretty safe way to go with the AI art because it's just off kilter enough from reality that we're not looking for the completely 100% realistic. Like, I'm not looking for this to be like a picture that I took outside of my office nook window and made it into a diamond painting. I am looking for something that is a more artistic interpretation. And by using those kind of not realistic colors, you get that feel, and suddenly you are less inclined to pay attention to some of the smaller details that maybe otherwise you would have. Does that make sense? I'm having a really hard time explaining it. But I will point out a couple of concerns. So, the details, I have a feeling, might be a little bit of a miss in here. When I am looking at this barn in the background, based on the symbols that I am seeing, I'm having a really hard time believing that when this is done, you will know that this is a barn. I could be wrong, which is why this is ultimately going to get a question mark with just opinions attached right now. But I'm pretty skeptical. I don't know that you're going to know that's a barn. The only real clue might be is the front side of this, of like the large part of the barn. That might come through. That would be it. And again, this is where it works because we are using these different colors. So this is what I mean. This is actually the perfect example. So toward the base here, you have what must be a bunch of, either they are wildflowers, or maybe it's just meant to be the way that the sun is setting. I think it's supposed to be a setting sun. That you see the colors on the tops of the grass or the bushes. I feel like we don't exactly know what it is that we're looking at, and it's not well defined, but because we're dealing in a color scheme that doesn't match reality, we don't really care. We are less inclined to look at this and go, I wonder what exactly that is. Is that a bunch of wildflowers? If so, what kind of wildflowers? I can't tell. They look like little fluffy purple pink clouds on top of this rolling field inside of this canyon. That's what I mean by doing that different type of color palette. You are less inclined to be obsessed with the minor details like that. So the rendering, like I said, I'm not going to actually give it a star rating. Instead, I will say I think it's probably pretty good. Probably pretty good. The one thing I did forget to do was measure the actual size of this canvas. So it's saying that it's a 40 by 55 centimeter canvas. And they do mean the full canvas size is 40 by 55. So the actual drill area is 35 by 50. There we go. So I don't know that that's worth taking any more points off from my 4.75 points out of 5. Maybe we could go down to 4.5 out of 5 points now, just because they don't make it clear that we're looking at the full canvas size as a 40 by 55, and the image actual drill area is 35 by 50. What do you think? Should we knock it down to 4.5 stars? Yeah, I think we will. Because it kind of bugs me. Just, thinking for like, if you want to frame this and stuff, you got to know actual drill size area, and they don't tell you that. They don't give you the actual drill size area. So I'm ending last score down to 4.5 stars. But yes, the rendering, we're going to go, I think it's probably pretty good. Not a real star rating. I'm going to give it a loose 3.5 out of 5 stars right now. But really, it's a question mark rating. We'll see when it's done what I think. All right, so this was the first canvas from Center One. If you haven't noticed, this is going to be a long video, but it's because I want it to be in depth. I want you to know what it is that you could be purchasing from TEMU. I'm going to package this up, and then I will come back and we will do the square kit from this same company. We'll spend probably a little bit less time looking at the toolkit and stuff like that because we already have ratings for this company. we'll dive more right into looking at those drills and that canvas. I'll be right back. I am back with our second center one kit. Real brief because we've already kind of gone over the tools for the round kit. I don't think there's going to be much change in here. The packaging, this is a slightly different purple packaging, but it's still, I mean, it's the same bag. It's still labeled the same. We open it up on the inside. We have the 3 drill pins again, the same, what are these called? Tweezers, angled tweezers. We have the 3 squishies again. We have the additional baggies again, which is, like I said, kind of peculiar because the kit already comes kitted up. But still, that's cool. I mean, additional baggies is never a problem. We have the same wax that's in a container, which is really, really nice. And we have another 6 patties of purple wax in here. And we have the same kind of drill tray that appears to be, I don't see any major defects or anything. So toolkit is the same. Amazing, phenomenal for a budget company toolkit. And then the other thing is the packaging. I know what you're thinking here. And you're like, but look at how bent that is. I am really hesitant to mark down the company for that. Let's be honest, this is the way that TEMU ships stuff. So if this had gone out in a different kind of shipment from a different kind of company, this would have come perfectly straight, just like its sister canvas. And in fact, I think we can blame the round canvas that I ordered at the same time for being the reason why this one got bent, because this is the slightly larger canvas. And so, you know, it was feeling the pressure from the shorter canvas that was bracing part of it. And that's probably why this one got bent. Regardless, the canvas is nice enough that I'm not too terribly concerned. I think that this will still end up lying just fine in the end. So we're going to keep it with its 4.5 stars. I'm not going to take any deductions for that. All right, so that brings us to the drills. This one has square drills, and the price for this one was a little bit more. And I think it's because it has square drills, meaning that there are more drills in this kit than there are in the round canvas kit, because the actual surface area is the same. The last kit they advertised as being a 40 by 55, and this one is a 45 by 45 is how it's advertised. So the price was $9.73, which I'm sure I already put up here. So it's like 80 cents more than the last kit. And I think it's because there are more drills. But this one, I don't think there are, oh no, there are AB drills in here. That was not advertised in the description. But I do spot some AB drills. So bonus, because the description never made that clear if there'd be AB drills in here or not. So the price difference has got to be the fact that there's just more drills because it's a square drill canvas. So we will start with a lighter drill color again. Yeah, that pink should be light enough. These are very dimpled. Very, very dimpled on the bases. A lot more so than what I saw with the round drills. Almost every single drill in here does have a dimple on its butt. That's not a major problem. The only thing is sometimes that means that the drill doesn't stick quite as nicely to the canvas. We're gonna pour them out. I forgot to leave out the drill tray. And remember, again, the drills, we can kind of only really tell roughly. It's not till we actually complete the whole painting that we know. All right, the square drills, they do okay in this tray. They don't quite smooth out as nice as the round drills do. The fronts of these drills, however, I'm gonna hold this up for you to examine. And I am less impressed with the square drills versus their round drills. Again, this is just looking at one color versus one color of the round. But let me point out a few things to you. So using their tweezers, we have some inconsistency in sizes of these drills. Some of these drills are slightly smaller than other drills. So there is some minor shape inconsistency. It's not terrible. It's not terrible. Very minor shape inconsistency. They are, however, very heavily beveled, and they're not equally beveled, which is actually kind of nice. It does give a more sparkly effect overall for your canvas, I believe. And then some of these are a little more messy. So like this one, there is a little bit of skirting on this one, meaning there's a little bit of extra junk on either side of that canvas. And heavily, like I said, they're heavily dimpled on the base as well. Okay. I mean, I'm sounding like hypercritical. Like this one, I don't know that that's exactly a perfect square in size. The thing is, though, unless your square drills are really, really consistent, they aren't going to lie really even on the canvas. So that's why I'm like hypercritical of these. Round drills, it's actually not that big of a deal. You can have slightly different sized round drills and it's not going to matter quite as much. The square, you need these things perfect. And these are, for a budget company, they're pretty close to perfect. They are relatively consistent in size. There are some minor variations. There's some minor fluctuation in the pour. I'm going to give it 4 stars right now. We're going to look at the AB drills that are in here before I give like an official 4-star review. But right now I'm looking at 4 stars. Just thinking about other budget company square drill kits that I get, which, by the way, it's very, very rare that you will find a budget company that does square drills. And it's because of the fact that you need to have that level of consistency that you don't have to have with round drills. And it's more expensive because you need more drills to cover the same area of canvas. So the fact that this is a budget company that has square drills already puts them and sets them apart from all the other budget companies that I've pretty much ever looked at. But not perfect. This is definitely not a 5-star quality. Right now I'm sitting at 4. Let's pull out the ABs. This kit is like the round drills. There are 40 colors. I don't know, that might be kind of standard for this company. Out of those 40 colors, there are 4 AB drills that I found, and that's a very nice number. That's 10% of this kit is round drills. So definitely 2 thumbs up for that, particularly when I wasn't 100% sure that there would even be AB drills in here. Let's go ahead and we will pour out this lighter color again. It's very similar to the last AB drill that we looked at too, which I think is good, kind of comparing like with like. Now, I will admit, part of the problem for these square drills in this tray is I have overfilled this tray. So that's part of the reason why they aren't coming out quite as nice as the round. So I should probably have not put as many in here. Okay, so I will let you look and then I will talk. So here are your square AB drills from this company. Now, again, we're only looking at one color, and we only looked at one color in the last canvas. But from this sampling, what's one of my pet peeves? Drills that missed getting that AB coating. We have one here for sure. And another one right there. Another one right there. Another one right there. All right, so that's 4 out of the poured out area that don't have an AB coating. So I don't like that. The AB coating, however, is still very good. It is definitely a quality AB coating on these drills. Same basic consistency issues that I saw with the square drills before. You know, I was like hypercritical, and I explained why I was hypercritical. And so you may have been surprised when I'm like, well, 4 stars. But that's because it's actually not that bad. But there's still, you know, there's still a little bit of inconsistency here in the shapes. Still some kind of over pour. You know, it's the same square drills that I saw before, just now with the AB coating on here. But this bothers me. That lack of coating bothers me. Oh, I wanted to actually try and show you. Oh, I see what happened. I just figured out why that AB coating was missing. It's on the back of the drill. That's why. The front is bare. The back got the coating.
It's mine. Do you have to wash for it?
But right here, I think you can kind of see. So these 2 drills right here that are missing the AB coating on the front side, it's on the back side, I have discovered. You can kind of see that kind of slight inconsistency in that square shape. I hope, maybe. It's very, very hard to do this with a camera. But I think maybe you can see that little bit of inconsistency there. They don't quite, like if this were on a canvas, they just don't match up perfectly. And then with the amount of these drills where the AB coating made it to the underside instead of the top side, I kind of want to drop the score of this. It's hard because even when I think about the quality company, diamond painting companies that I have ordered from, square drills are just hard. I have rarely seen a true consistency in the shape. But I think I am going to drop the score from a 4 down to a 3.5. I think we're going to go down to a 3.5 for the drill quality here. Which is really sad because the last kit, the round drills, scored so well. But this just bothers me because now these are trash drills, which is part of the measure here, right? How much trash is there? Well, with this small little pour out, I already found 4 drills that I'm not going to be able to use on my canvas simply because the AB coating didn't make it to the front side of that drill. Plus a couple others that I will avoid putting on because their shape is more wonky than some of the others. So I think I'm going to have to go down to 3.5 stars, which is kind of sad. But that's still actually really, really good. Like I said, getting high quality square drills in general, even from high quality diamond art companies, is very, very difficult. So 3.5 stars is still actually really good. So, again, I don't think we're going to have to spend a lot of time on the canvas because it's the same canvas, same company, super soft back. We still have the same quality for fray prevention around the corners. Okay, So yes, there may be, you know, there was a little bit of roughness that was seen by this poor canvas because it was rolled, because it got a little bit scrunched in the packaging. However, I'm telling you, it's gonna be fine. The canvas is a high enough quality that it's going to be fine. There's not going to be any major long-term effects from this creasing that's happened in this canvas. So kudos to them for that. Same kind of stuff that we have going on here. We have the branding at the top. We have the legends on either side. At the base, we have that same information, which is actually really, really helpful. It tells you it's a 45 by 45, or they convert to inches, which is pretty amazing. It says it's square, 40 colors with four ABs. It says it's a pro level with 24,649. And again, it's the same surface area as the last painting. And the last painting had, what was it, 21,000 something drills? I'll put it up here so you can see the difference between the two of them. So more drills, same surface area, and I think that's why this one was slightly more expensive than the last canvas. We will go ahead and measure it. Yep, it's 40 centimeters. So it's actually a 40 by 40 centimeter workspace. No change in the score for the quality of the canvas here at all. The canvases were very consistent between both kits. So kudos to them for that. I think it's a really good canvas. Like I said, you know, a couple minor deductions just because of not having an accurate measurement, not letting me know that it's actually a 40 by 40 drill size area. Finally, the last piece that we don't give an official star rating for, instead I give opinions, is that rendering. So here is the original artwork. And here is what we have present. This one is very hard. Much harder for me to even offer opinions than the last piece. We have the same type of realistic, but just unrealistic enough that we're not looking at the details of realism quite as much like we had with the landscape picture. It is hard for me to know how clearly are we going to be able to make out that this is a vase of roses. I really think it might be a little bit confetti heavy. I say that, let me blow you up. This area, that's just an awful lot of colors, and I start getting concerned when you see things like, you know, just a couple of one color sitting somewhere. Like, why is there this 9 here when there are, like, we got a few 9s over here? Now that's when I start kind of scratching my head and saying, like, here we have an E, but there aren't a lot of E's around. In fact, I'm not seeing. Yeah, so that's what I mean by I think it might be a little confetti heavy, meaning that the final rendering of this might be a little pixelated and hard to make out. My guess is it's probably a 3 out of 5. But again, that's just a guess. This is actually a question mark review. We'll see. Once it's completed, we'll have a much better idea. But right now, that's where I'm kind of putting it at, is probably about a 3 out of 5. All right, so So that is the first two pieces that I got from this same company called Center One, where I could compare round versus square drill. Now we will move into a couple of other companies that I purchased from. This was like the highest quality company that I could find going through TEMU. The others are, they look to be a little bit more standard, like what I would anticipate getting off from TEMU, you know, a budget company diamond painting kit. So this was like our high end, and now we're going to go down to what I would call like our average expectations. I am back. I have 3 more kits that I'm going to show you. I'm hoping to move a little bit faster through these because now you understand the grading criteria. So I'm hoping we can move at a slightly faster pace through these last 3. The final one I'm hoping is going to be a bit of a surprise, but I guess we're gonna have to wait and find out. As you can see, I've moved on to my afternoon coffee, and yeah, let's get going. This is the first one that we're going to look at. It is kind of an autumn painting. In fact, let me just show you the image right now. So you kind of seen it ahead of time. It is by a company that it's like Langbro Craft. It was $5.98. So again, that like real budget friendly price point. It says that it's a 40 by 40 painting. As I'm sure we will probably find out, it's going to be less than that. Before I just like rip right through, it was in your very standard kind of packaging here. You know, just your little plastic sleeve that you find. Pretty normal, pretty typical. You know, there's a label on here. It's telling me that it's a 40 by 40. You know, that's really about it. The company isn't listed on there anywhere. Let's find our toolkit. So the toolkit, super basic toolkit. Oh, look, and it came with a dead bug. That's really cool too. Love that. So dead bug included. Toolkit. This is an exceptionally basic toolkit. About the only bonus points that I can give this is it does have a 3-place multi-placer in here, and it does come with a few small baggies. Otherwise, this is nothing to write home about. We'll check the wax. The wax is at least fresh, very usable, but it's just one thing of it. Got a little punched somehow. Probably just in the shipping. But there's no little spongy grip. There's no squishy to put in your pen. You only have the 1-3 multi-placer. You have one thing of your standard pink wax. Doesn't come in an extra little case. You have a few extra little baggies. I will say they are not needed. As you can probably already see, the drills have already been bagged up for you. But 6 little extra baggies. So if we're gonna say that your standard toolkit is like your absolute baseline toolkit, that would be just the green tray, drill pen without the multi-placer, and the little slab of wax would be your bare bones minimum. And I'd give that like 1.5 stars. Like, I'm not even going to say that's like your average quality. That's like your bare bone minimum. Anything less than 1.5 stars means that something came and it's not even usable out of the 3 items there. But it's all usable. So the only bonuses are the one little multi-placer in the baggies. Like I said, 2 stars. We're going to give it 2 out of 5 stars. Plus the very basic package protection. I don't think it warrants really any more than that. Yes, technically you can use them. It passes. but it's certainly not very exciting. Maybe 2.5 stars. Should I go up to 2.5 stars? Because it will, you can still do the whole kit, and it did come with 2 tiny bonuses. Does that warrant going from a 2 to a 2.5? I feel like 50% would still be saying, yeah, yes, you can use everything in here to complete this kit if you had to. Maybe, I don't know. I'm going to roll toss up here. We're going to leave it somewhere between a 2 and a 2.5. It's not impressive. Oh, actually, I'll keep this out because I donate those. Moving on to the drills. So, bonus is they are already sorted into bags, as you can see, clearly marked number-wise. There are only 25 colors in this canvas, and they are clearly marked numbers 1 through 25. So that definitely works in the favor of the drill score. Like I explained with the very first one, I maybe should have included packaging your drills individually like this as part of like the overall tools and packaging score, but I didn't. I kept it in with the drills. So you do get some bonus for that. The drills, just doing a bag peek. Actually, the drills look really good. There is some, you know, you got that one little butt dimple on the underside of several of them. Not all of them, but several of them. Nothing abnormal, nothing beyond what I would expect to see. And they are heavily faceted drills. So let's pour them out. We're going to use the same drill tray again, like I did with the last kit, even though it's this little bitty, you know, green drill tray. But we're going to pour them out in here so we can get kind of a closer look. And of course, they are acrylic drills, and I talked about that extensively earlier as well. Yeah, these green trays are so difficult to use. We're keeping the 2-star review, okay? Just because this is a nightmare to try and use. You can't get these drills spaced out well. It's just a pain in the butt. You know, does YouTube let me say that B word so often? It's not even the B word. It's just, you know, you're behind. I don't know. So you can't really sort them out nicely on the green tray. So we're definitely keeping that 2 out of 5 score for tools. But the drills actually look really very good. I'm not seeing trash. I am not seeing like huge size inconsistency. I'm not seeing color inconsistency. The drills they get a pretty good review. They are slightly lower quality than the round drills from the Center One round drill kit that we just looked at, because there is a little bit more dimpling on the base of these, and there is a tiny, like a couple, just hardly noticeable. See, now I don't have tweezers with this. This kit didn't come with tweezers. Hardly noticeable. I would still use these drills in my painting. A little bit of extra bits on some of them. I don't know. There's no way you're going to be able to even like see this. That drill, there's just like a tiny bit of extra on it. So slightly less than the others. Because this kit, there are no AB drills in this kit at all. None were advertised. None are being seen in here. I'm going to pull out another bag to kind of look at them, just so that we are still looking at 2 different drills per kit. These really are looking the same to me. In fact, these I think are maybe even a slightly nicer quality than what's in the tray here. Just a little bit cleaner. They're really good drills. For acrylic drills, they're really good drills. And with them already being bagged like this, I'm going to say 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'm not going to give them perfect. just because they don't quite match the level of the center one kit. They are slightly more, like I said, just slightly less perfect. But 4.5 out of 5 stars, that's actually incredible. That is much better than what I anticipated seeing from a kit like this. So yeah, so far, kind of impressive. And looking through them, like some of them, like this, the few orange in here, this one, there is quite a bit of dimpling on the underside, but others, there isn't nearly as much dimpling on the other side. So yeah, 4.5 out of 5 stars, I think is probably pretty accurate for all of them. Now, the canvas. This is where there's definitely some pretty major differences. This is a very thick canvas, which is good. It's not at all thin. This is definitely a thick canvas. This is a weighted canvas that if you were to seal it, if you were to apply a glue sealer to this, it will go on the canvas nicely. It's not going to bleed through or leave like some funny marks on it, which sometimes your thin canvases will do that. It is, however, it's not a soft canvas, which isn't strictly necessary, but because of the type of heavyweight canvas it is, as you can see, it's a little bit harder to get it to lie flat. So definitely some point deductions there. Turning it over, one thing that we can do to try and help this canvas out a little bit is, again, this just shows the lower quality aspect of this, but you can remove the plastic, which I gotta tell you is it is a lower quality plastic cover on here versus the center one kits. But by pulling this back and then letting it rest again on the canvas, that can help it relax a little bit. So I want to take the time to do that. I want to offer as fair a review as I can with this. Okay, that did help. Doing that a little bit, it definitely did help. So now let's look at this canvas. Which this one I can actually just barely get the whole thing in frame for you. We do have legends on both sides of the canvas. That's good. There is no kind of branding on here at all. This is your item number, which is important, except nowhere on the bag does it tell me that this is the item number. So if you store them separately, you're gonna have to write down on here, like get a sticky note and write down ZTM 0962, so you know that that's what kit these drills go with. The bare minimums are here. It's a usable canvas. You even have, some very basic instructions down here on the bottom that are legible. Drill pin adds glue, find the corresponding number, pour out one color drills into the tray, pick up diamonds, stick drills on the right position, complete reinforcement. Okay, the translation I feel like is, you can like follow along, you kind of get what it's saying. But now let's look at some of the more obvious things, right? So not only is there no flat background, which isn't necessarily necessary, but this does not lie as flat as the last canvases did. Additionally, there is no fray prevention on here at all. Over time, this canvas will fray, particularly on either of these two ends. So no added fray prevention available. Like I talked about in the last one, how is this centered on the canvas? Well, we'll measure. The actual drill area looks like it's centered pretty well, but like over here, we've actually cut off this legend slightly. It's still all legible, but it has definitely been cut off. This end it has not. That end it is still all present. Let's go ahead. We're going to get that measuring tape and we will see just how centered on the canvas this is. Little under 1 inch. Exactly 1 inch. We'll say 1 inch. A little bit over 1 inch. Every side has a different, it's not very squared on this canvas. It would be one thing if, you know, both these sides were equal and these sides were equal. They're not. Every side has a slightly different measurement, so it's not very well centered on the canvas. Let's look at the glue for this. So I removed this. Oh boy. Okay. Listen to me. I removed this. I will say the poured glue looks okay. Again, I'm going to do the thing that I hate doing. Okay, it's not as sticky. It is definitely a lower stick quality than the center one kits we looked at previously. This one, I'm thinking you're going to have to seal it. Just, the glue appears to be thin enough and not quite sticky enough that I think you're gonna wanna seal this one just to make sure that you keep all those drills on there. Additionally, the thing that I saw right away that had me like gasping is the poured glue area. Let's see if I can get this so you can see. So the glue starts right here where my finger is, over the numbers, and then down here. So that's this corner. I mean, this side might be okay. Having that much of an over pour isn't terrible. It's easily covered with washi tape. But like here, it's on your actual legend. It's on your numbers. So that's kind of less than desirable. But let's see what it's like on the other end. Oh, okay. So the other end is the same. The glue starts way out here. It is a little bit tighter to the canvas on top. But with the poured over glue, quite excessive, not like hugely, like it's not like an inch extra, but because everything on this canvas is so tight, with the glue being poured over that much more, that makes these legends unusable. If, like, even if you don't use the washi tape, not everyone uses washi tape, but even if you don't use washi tape, they're going to get awful fuzzy, making it hard to read what the legend is telling you. But here is the good side to that. The whole canvas is covered in glue, which is the most important factor when you are looking at glue coverage. Is, does every drill have glue available? Yes, it does. And I will say that it seems to be poured pretty equally on both these sides. It's just a little too much glue. If they could have gone a little bit less glue on the sides, cut it in a little bit closer, like where they had the glue pour on the top of the canvas, if that could have been consistent all the way around, that would definitely help with its overall canvas score. So I think let's just do the measurement for like actual drill size of this canvas, and then we're gonna give it its score for canvas quality. It is 30. Okay, so this is kind of one of those frustrating, we'll say it's 35. It might be like a hair off, but it's close enough. Yeah, we're gonna say actual drill size is a 35 by 35. Again, it may be like a hair each direction, like a hair longer this way and a hair shorter this way. A hair. And because this canvas is not completely flat, it's a little bit harder. So we're gonna say it's a true 35 by 35. But again, nowhere does it tell you that the actual image size is 35 by 35. That's not on here at all. It just says 40 by 40, which I did not measure that. So oops, we'll check that a second. just under 40 that way, and about exactly 40 this way. So that is at least quite accurate. All right, so putting it all together, we are going to say 2.5 out of 5. That's what we're going to give quality of the canvas for this one. The last piece is the art quality. You saw the image earlier. I'll put it up here again briefly. And this is what we have here. Again, it's just so hard. It's so hard. My concerns are less with the foreground and more with the background, possibly. So I feel like the foreground, I think the windows and the rather confusing leaves inside of the house make sense. Like, I don't know how else you could interpret this, because you're looking outside, but simultaneously it appears that there are leaves on the inside. So maybe it's an interior decoration. Maybe again, it's just AI art getting confused and we're putting trees inside of the house. But I feel like you can definitely make out that this is an open window and these are clearly leaves here in the foreground. The background with this house back here, I think it's gonna probably look okay-ish. And I say that based on another kit that I've done that I was really surprised by the end result. And it had kind of a similar appearance in rendering. So I think it might be okay, but you just never know. You know, here we have, it's supposed to be a bare naked tree here. I'm not sure how well that's going to show up as a bare naked tree. Just looking at the drills that are on there, I'm not sure. It might. I don't know either. So like this is a tree outside of this window, and this is actually like outside, it's not inside. So this tree outside here, I'm not confident how well you're gonna make out that this is a tree and not just like a really large yellow bush either. Not positive. We do have a little like dish down here. I think that will probably come across okay. There does appear to be enough demarcation and colors surrounding this that I think that will look okay. Hard to tell. Really hard. Oh, I actually feel pretty good about it. I am going to say with, question mark rating, because this one I'm just giving an opinion rating with nothing real to like verify or substantiate it, because it's not a completed picture. But taking everything into account, and I am going to deduct points because of the fact that it looks like there are trees inside of the building. And I'm going to say that that is probably actually an AI mistake. I am going to give it 3 out of 5. But again, it could actually be much better than that, and it could be worse than that. So that's just very rough guess. We're going to package this one up, and then I will pull out the next one. The next one, if you've been watching my channel, you may have gotten like a teeny tiny preview of this one earlier. That's because I accidentally ordered 2 copies of this exact same painting, and one of them I sent to the winner of my great TEMU unboxing, which started the reason for having this whole video. So I bought 2 copies of this. Interestingly, they were from the same seller. It came from a seller that's called like Z1 Workmanship or Zy1 Workmanship. The first time I purchased it, it was $3.63. And the second time I purchased it, it was $4.15. So, right about a 50-cent difference, which isn't huge, except when you consider how inexpensive it is. That 50 cents is kind of significant. And I guess technically it's 52 cents, right? So just interesting, but same shop. It just shows you how much prices fluctuate on TEMU. Regardless, really inexpensive little craft project here. The packaging, again, nothing to write home about, but it is, it's sealed in a plastic bag here. The company is not listed on here. We do have little tiny, it tells me it's a 30 by 40 round diamond, but that's about it. But still, it works. It's effective, right? Now, our last kit, we gave that 2 stars in the end, didn't we? I believe we did. Oh. And this one, what did I say if it only came with the absolute bare minimums, which is a working tray, a pin with no squishy and no multi-placers, and then just a thing of wax and nothing else. I said that would be a 1.5 star. And combined with the overall quality of the packaging, which wasn't a whole lot, but good enough, it's 1.5 stars. Just based off from the criteria that I gave earlier, we'll give this 1.5 stars. It is really not exciting. This green tray is maybe slightly more upscale. Here's from the first one. This is a slightly heavier plastic. Maybe I can give it 1.75 stars because this is a slightly heavier plastic than this one. Like, you can see my fingers through here, but you can't see them through here. If I really want to, I guess I could go up 0.25 points, but really not. It's not very exciting. Drills. These drills come like this. I really hate it when drills come like this and they're not pre-bagged. And that is mostly because of static reasons. I find that static is a lot harder to deal with when they come in these like long strips. So that I don't really like. My least favorite, what I hate and avoid doing these kits if it comes like this, is when you have those super tiny bags, like half the size of this, and then they give you like 20 of the one color. And the reason why is because you can have the exact same number in every single bag, and it's a way of like not wasting drills. It's a way of saving money as a company, but oh my word, that I just don't do those kits. It's like, forget it. I'm not even going to do that kit. So these are not pre-bagged. However, they are all clearly numbered: 25, 24, 23, 22. And one thing that this does have that the last kit did not have is the item number is on here. DW1563, which is on this bag. Teeny tiny, it says DW1563. And at the top of this canvas. So that's actually one advantage, one plus. The other drills did not have that at all. You were going to have to label them separately. All right. Drill quality. How do I want to do this? I'm going to have to open up one of these bags, and we will do this bag here because I like that color. This is how dedicated I am. I would normally never ever do this because I'm going to have to now rebag it in something else and stick it back in there and hopefully not lose it because I've now cut up this whole line. I got them out. Oh yeah, static is pretty real in here. Okay, I'm going to hold these up for you to kind of look at them, and then I will talk. All right, so what I am seeing. Size consistency is okay. You're gonna have to take my word on this. I can't really show you this very well on camera, but there are some drills in here that are slightly less round than other drills, but it works. Again, this is a round drill canvas, so it's not like they're up next to one another, so that's not quite as big of a deal. The one thing though that does kind of bug me is the color consistency is not great. A lot of these have like little dark flecks in them, like a dark fleck there. There's a dark fleck there. And again, you're gonna have to kind of take my word on that. I don't think that's gonna be picked up in the camera at all. This drill has some definite extra poured around it. I'd probably avoid using that drill actually on my canvas, so I would consider that one a total trash drill. Okay, so let's just go to this bag here, and I'm not going to open up two bags. We're just going to look at this. I mean, the dimpling on the behind of each one is reasonable. It's not unexpected. The beveling of these drills is not as amazing as the last kit. It's still there. You know, they still catch the light, but it's not quite as good. So all in all, these drills are definitely a lower quality. When I consider how they came packaged to me, when I consider the less quality overall in consistency, both size and color, when I consider the slight overpour on some of them, I'm going to say 2.5 stars out of 5. Where, to me, that's still a passing grade. I think the completed project is still probably going to look okay, and it might even look fantastic, but the drills themselves really are not that amazing. All right, now I have to get a little bag to put those in. All right, I will have to try and keep all of those together when I repackage it. Moving on to canvas quality. This canvas feels identical to the last one that we looked at. Same weight. I mean, identical. I think it's printed on the exact same type of canvas. Doing the same thing here. We will try and make it lie a little bit flatter, you know, give it every advantage we can. The plastic on top, the cover is also not amazing. Just like the last canvas. That helps a little bit with flattening it. But again, it's never going to be completely flattened. You do still have some instructions down here. I will read them to you. Please make a smooth flat on the desktop. Do not cover film, disposable opened, part of the lift so as not to lose the adhesive glue. That was step 2, sorry. 3, the preparation of the diamond is covered. The wrong piece can be immediately corrected. 4, according to the color, in accordance with the corresponding point of the drill into the canvas, rest, please cover the film back to the canvas. And 5, the raw material is not edible. Please do not let children play with diamonds so as to avoid mistakes in the entrance. A lot more confusing instructions. There's only one legend on the side. You do have, your basic information up here, just letting you know this is the kit number. There is a QR code. I imagine this would probably bring you to this store page, maybe. The Zion workmanship page. However, this legend is at least complete on the canvas. It's not cut off, so that is good. And we're going to measure the placement of the drill painting on here because it looks to be pretty consistent. Like, it looks to be pretty centered. 1 inch, 1 inch, just under 1 inch, and just under 1 inch. It is actually centered perfectly on this canvas. So that is a plus that the last canvas we looked at did not have. It is perfectly centered. It does only have the one legend. You can say though, it's a really small painting. It's a 30 by 40, which we will measure. I'm sure it's actually a 25 by 35 for drill area. But the legend is fully visible. This would be easy to photocopy. Now let's look at the poured glue. So starting up here, our poured glue it's very hard for me to show you, so we'll use my fingertip again. It starts here and here. So it is over the number a little bit. And then the other corner starts here and down here. It's not perfectly centered glue, but it's pretty close. So do you remember, let me find my little card back. The last kit, really, it was so close to being perfect, I left it alone, even though the pour over was a little too much. This kit, so if you consider this like glue poured on perfectly, this kit, the glue was poured just slightly like this, to the right and down, just a smidge, but not bad. There's full glue coverage on here. We'll do the finger test again. Oh, I hate doing this. Ooh, the glue quality is better than the last kit. Let's do measurements and then we'll do scoring with this. So it's saying it's a 30 by 40. The actual canvas size is 30, just a hair under 30 by a little bit more than a hair under 40. And then the poured area, or the actual drill area, just under 25 by 35. So it is just slightly smaller than a 25 by 35 actual image area. Again, they don't tell you that that is the actual image area anywhere, so I do deduct some points for that. But we are looking at a canvas that's very similar to the last kit, a plastic cover that's very similar to the last kit, a poured glue that is similar in that it is full coverage, but it does interrupt with your legend, and kind of substantially so. However, it is perfectly centered on the canvas, and even more importantly than that, the glue quality is definitely higher than the last kit. I think on the whole, this canvas is slightly better. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 stars. All right, here we go. Art quality. Again, this is, I'm going to repeat this with every single canvas, but this is the one area that it's a question mark rating. Until they're done, I just cannot really begin to tell you. Looking at this, and here again is the original image, real briefly. I'm gonna already say 2.5 stars is my guess. Why am I saying that? A couple of things. First, let me blow you up. So these are all very clear round drill guidelines, like too clear. meaning it's very likely that you're going to see some guidelines pop through, especially with the drills not being real consistent in shape. So that's concern number one. Concern number two is this does still have a lot of confetti in there, and confetti that doesn't really make sense. Like back here, you know, so yeah, confetti that doesn't really make sense. I'm thinking 2.5. But again, who knows? It might work up and be really, really good. There's always room for surprise. Or it could work up and be really almost indecipherable. It's a cat on books, and by the time it's done, it might look like a black blob on a colorful mountain. Who knows? But that's where I'm at with this one. Okay, so let's roll this one back up. I'll put this one away, and then we will do the final kit that I bought. This is the final kit, kind of. There will be a little postscript to this. This kit, the reason why I saved it for the last one to show you is because it actually has the potential of being the highest quality kit. I know, I said the center one were probably the highest quality kits I could find. That was just based on what I could see looking at the store. This kit, I really had to consider whether or not I was willing to purchase it because it went over that $10 mark, which for me, I feel like if it's more than 10 bucks, how much of a budget kit is it? Unless it is truly a quality piece. We'll see. So this kit was $13.48. The company that it was being sold from on TEMU was called AB Diamond Art. And, you know, the exterior here, there's not a whole lot on this bag. However, you know, it's marked just like the last two kits we looked at. And this plastic cover is actually nicer than the last two plastic covers. This is the exact same plastic cover that I have gotten on kits from quality companies. Identical. So it's actually, the packaging is quite well done. Let's open it up. The way that this was advertised on TEMU is it told me that it was an AB plus square diamonds plus flocked cloth canvas. So it did sound pretty nice. And then with that price point, I thought, okay, we're going to get it. We're going to find out. So that's how it was marketed to me on TEMU. Pull out the center. All right, that is everything. Oh. Okay. So for starters already, what do you see that we've not seen in any of the kits? We actually have a printed out legend. I have something here that I can cut this out, put it through my sticky machine, and like label my baggies or my individual containers. I love having a printed out legend. I mean, what would obviously make it better is if this were on a sticker sheet, which it isn't. But the fact that there is a printed out legend is amazing. I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. Ooh, I don't want to look at you yet, Drills. Go back in there. Yeah, this is huge. Wow, this is amazing. You can use this, cut this out. You can make a photocopy. Super easy, much easier than trying to just make a photocopy with the canvas. The legend sheet, this is almost worth so much. Wow. I gave that first toolkit 5 stars, right? I did. and it didn't even have a legend sheet. And I'd consider this among the tools, don't you think? Or would this be with the canvas? We're going to consider it among the tools. It had just never occurred to me that such a budget, like sold on TEMU company, would provide you with a printed out legend. Now let's look at the toolkit. So this, compared to the first company, not as good. There are no multi-placers, there are no squishies. For gripping, you just have the one pen. You do have some tweezers here. Actually, about the same quality, maybe slightly lower quality than the center wand kits, but not much of a difference, actually. I mean, they look very, very different because the others had the light lavender, but feeling and using, they're pretty similar. You get like one extra long wax patty, so nothing like the protected 6 wax patties that came with the center wand kits. You have a few extra baggies, 5. You have 5 extra baggies, but they're not actually needed because everything came pre-bagged. The drill tray is actually really good. It's not as nice as the center wand drill trays, but compared to our last 2 kits with just the little green drill trays, this is definitely better. It lays really nice and flat on my table. You've got a pretty nice pour spout here. It's decent. So considering that our last 2 kits were a 1.5 and a 2 point, I'm gonna say that this is probably a 3.5. We're gonna give it a 3.5. And it gets an extra 0.5, if not full point, just because of the legend sheet. Because it means that much to me. All right, we're gonna put this away, except for that drill tray. Drills, like I said, they came pre-bagged already. Let's do this orange color. This one looks pretty good. This one is square drills, which I told you that when I read the description, you knew that it would be square drills. Another one of the few companies that I did find that offered square drills on TEMU. Looking at them through the bag, normal type of butt dimpling. It is not excessive. It's pretty standard for acrylic drills. I love how well these are labeled. So like this is color number 11. And it tells you DMC color code is on this bag. We have the DMC color code of 741. It actually tells you how many drills you need to complete the painting, and then it tells you that it weighs 5.4 grams. I kind of like when the weight is on there, so that's quite lovely. We're gonna pour some of these out into this drill tray. Obviously, this one I'm not going to pour the whole bag out because it's way too many drills for the size of this tray. Now, remember, square drills are really, really hard. The center wand kits, they went from having a perfect drill score to having to go down quite a bit by the time I looked at the square drills. So I'm not sure what we'll see here. Let me just hold this up for you. Okay. So looking at these, you do have, let me get their tweezers back. We'll use their tweezers too. All right, so looking at this, we do have pretty decent consistency and size. This drill is definitely wonky, and it's making the others in line with it not lie quite as straight. The different, it's well faceted with the different number of facets on them. which, like I said, that adds just an overall more sparkly quality to the canvas. This one, that one looks kind of small next to its neighbors. So slightly different size consistency, but again, for being square drills and the fact that I can line them up pretty well in the tray, I think size and consistency may be slightly less than the center one. Color consistency is great. I have no concerns there. I don't know. Last time I was giving the center one a 4 out of 5, just looking at the drills before I grabbed the ABs. These might be a 4.5. The only deduction is in the slight size inconsistency with the drills. But otherwise, none of the drills that I poured out that I can see have any excess acrylic hanging onto them. It's just about the cut, and it's minor. So right now they're sitting at a 4.5, which is really gosh darn impressive for a square drill. We will put this away, and then I will find the AB drills that are in here. And not only were there AB drills in here, they were sorted separately from the rest of them. Do you remember the center wand kits that I told you I peeked at the legend to see if they were marked differently, and they were not? These are. So down here, it's very clearly showing us the A after these DMC codes, letting us know that these are AB drills. They are marked at the end of the list. So they were packaged at the end in here. Super, super nice. Better than center one in that way. Looking through the bag, you know, that little bit of dimpling, very minor, very minor. Probably the least amount I've seen out of any of the kits that we have looked at today for acrylic drills. Very, very, very good. Let's do the yellow. No, actually, let's do the green. I forgot that I was working on a white tray. So let's do this green one. I'll let you look. I don't know if you can see or not already. What's already gonna really bug me. First, I will acknowledge that my sample size is smaller because the center one tray was larger, so I could see more in a single pour. So this is a slightly smaller sampling, but not that much different. All right, so let's look at these right off the bat. A lot of these are naked drills. Naked drill, 2 naked drills in a row, naked drill. That one is not naked, just lightly coated. 4. And actually way back here, I can see, oh, there's more. Wait, look, there's even more. There's one back here, another one back here. Is that one actually naked? Yes. That's 6 naked drills. That's really sad. 6 naked drills out of this little sampling. And like I said before, for me, that's now considered a trash drill. Same thing though, the underside did get the coating. It's the top side that didn't. So it's the way that they were run through the machine. There are a lot of naked drills. Like I see, here's another naked drill. There are a lot of naked drills in here. otherwise, look at how nice these line up in the tray. Again, the size consistency is really quite impressive. All right, so for being an acrylic square drill from really what is a budget company, comparing it to the last square drills we looked at where I had to drop it down to a 3.5 after looking at the AB drills, this one I'm going to have to drop down to a 4. Even though, man, these do line up really nice and straight, basically perfect in my tray, meaning the consistency in these drills is really impressive. That many naked drills, I got to bring it down to a 4. So, which is still really, really good, actually. But it's down to a 4. The canvas. It advertised being a flocked canvas. It is a very nicely flocked canvas, as it is super soft on the back. We have great fray prevention here. You know, what you expect to see from a quality canvas is present on this canvas. A little wrinkled, but we'll turn it over. I have a feeling that the canvas quality is good enough that those wrinkles aren't going to have like a permanent effect. Definitely one thing that is nice about the styrofoam, which this did not have, is they lie flatter faster with the styrofoam inserts. Oh, yeah. So where all of those wrinkles were that you saw on the backside of the canvas, that is not going to be any kind of an issue at all with this canvas. The quality is fantastic, so that will not be a problem. The plastic cover, it's pretty thin, but it's a slightly like silkier, softer feel than the last two canvases were. So maybe slightly higher quality, but otherwise it's pretty much the same. Let's go ahead and, I can't get the whole thing in shot for you, but we will take our measurements to see how well centered the actual diamond painting area is on this canvas. But the front is really nice. You know, it's a kind of a soft, silky front side to the canvas. The center one was as well. Those were also very nice like that. Measuring from the poured, the drill area out to like the little dash marks again, that's 1 inch. This side it is a little bit over 1 inch. It's 1 1/10 inches. So if we're going to be picky, one and 1/10. And just under 1 inch. Okay. It is just a smidge off. Just a smidge. Just a smidge. So for the super picky, it is off by just a smidge. And you can see it. So this was the side. What was the measurement on this side? Was this like exactly or just under 1 inch? Yeah. This was the one. It was under 1 inch. And you can see it. Because that it's just cutting off and slightly even at an angle the legend on this side. I am hoping that when I do the edit, I will blow that up so you can see that better. So here is the little pin pricks in there to help prevent the fraying, and it kind of goes out and away. So you can kind of actually see that did have a little bit of an effect for it not being perfectly centered on here. However, the other side, this legend is just fine. It fits on the canvas really, really well. And to be fair, this side, you do still have full visibility of all of the color, the DMC codes. So, you know, to be fair, I have to give it that. Let's check the glue. Even though I had it pulled back earlier, I did not check the glue. Okay, here we go. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, ooh, super sticky. Immensely sticky glue. Put that back down. And let's look at the glue pour. This is a little messy. So the poured glue on this side goes all the way out to, it just starts to run into the symbols, just barely starts running into the symbols. On the bottom, ample over pour on the bottom. Really too much. It should not be that much. And go to the kitty corner. Not quite as far out as the other side, but it still is pretty run over, and probably about the same on the top too as the bottom, where it's just too much. Okay. Again, I don't know how well you are able to see that. Essentially what we're looking at, let me find my little card again. Where's my card? Uh-oh, here it is. So if it were poured on completely center, it would be here. Instead, it's like here, just a little bit to the right. But again, full glue coverage, which is obviously the most important part. You are gonna have to use washi tape on here. Like I've said before, just because the glue coverage is so far over, I feel like you're gonna need the washi tape, but it's not that big of a deal because it all comes back to the legend. You don't have to try and photocopy off from this, right? You already have the legend. Let's do our measurements. So it's telling me that it's a 45 by 55. And it is 45 across, full canvas size. And yeah, maybe just under 55 across, full canvas size. So now the actual poured glue area. Come on. Ah! This one, like I said, I can't get it quite as flat as I could with the center one kits. It's actually 45.5 centimeters by 40. So, again, small point deductions because it gives us the full canvas size off by a little bit, not the actual image area, which is also what I would say off by a little bit. Like I'd expect it to then be like a 40 by 50 when you actually measure it out. And it's not, it's just that half centimeter off that one direction. All right, so it is a very good canvas. 4.5. We're gonna say 4.5 out of 5 stars. There you go. It's a good canvas. It's almost perfect, but not quite there. And then that leads us to the last thing, which is the image quality. Overall art quality. Guys, I don't know. Looking at it up close, I can hardly make out a thing, if I'm being completely honest with you. Here's an image of it again, real quick. So that is the final artwork. You know, I do have a copy here, a little bitty one that I can kind of reference. Oh, up close. I know this is a tree, and I can kind of make out that there is a house here. You know, like I do see some windows. I got a bad feeling about this one. I have a bad feeling. Oof. I don't know that this is gonna be very good when it's said and done. I really don't. The image itself, for being AI, I think is really pretty. But doing a straight computer conversion to make it into a diamond painting, I don't think it's gonna work very well. Which is really sad, knowing how much I paid for this kit compared to the others. I mean, it was still, what, $13.48? How much did I? Yeah, 13. So $13.48, guys, is still a very reasonable price. And I'm sure I had like coupons and stuff on top of that, so I probably didn't even actually pay that much. But considering I was kind of hopeful that this would be like the best of the best, I'm disappointed. I just don't feel real good about how this one's gonna work out. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. I hope I finish this one and I am amazed. But I gotta tell ya, let me even look through my camera lens. Looking through the camera lens did help. I'm gonna move it up half a point because of looking through the camera lens, which gives me a better image of like what you guys are seeing. I was gonna originally give it just 2 out of 5 stars, but having now looked through the camera lens, I'm a little bit more hopeful. I'm gonna bump it up to 2.5 stars. Again, question mark for its overall art quality. All right, this is the art that is available on TEMU. Now, we've been through 5 different kits. We have done what I guess you can label the luxury kit on TEMU, where you have prices that, you know, those first 2 kits came in $8-9. This one was over 13, down to the really, really cheaply priced $5 kits. So we've kind of seen the gambit. Finding AB drills is a lot harder. Finding square drills is a lot harder. What do we think? What do we think, guys? To maybe help you out, I am going to show you a little postscript. So let me put this one away. This is my postscript. These are the 2 full drill diamond art pieces that I have purchased off from TEMU that I have completed. This was the first one that I ever bought. Last year I got this one. This one I actually bought and I was supposed to show you with this whole entire huge long video that I did just now. But I ended up doing it for an event last month instead. So some of you have already seen this one completed. Now, here's where I do remain a little bit optimistic. This kit, when I got it, first, here is the original image. And when I got it and I was looking at it up close, I really was skeptical how well the end result would look. We're gonna actually move it over just to focus strictly on this kit. I really didn't think it was going to be a great finished product. Move it around a little bit too, just because I do have the glare. Some of that is, let's actually take it, I'll take it out of my book too. That helps a little bit, I think. But I think, as you can see, the end result shocked me. It ended up being my favorite 30 by 40 painting that I did for this 30 by 40 event last month. And I was not anticipating that. So, that last quality measure, the last grading criteria that we were looking at, which is the overall art quality, you just don't really know until the painting's complete. This was a super budget-friendly piece. I put the price up there now. So as you can see, it was really budget-friendly. The drills were decent, but not spectacular. Like 2.5 stars drill quality. Canvas quality, like a 2.5 star canvas quality. It wasn't amazing. And the toolkit was, I'm sure, a 1.5 star toolkit. But the end result really surprised me. So what are we saying? What can we say in the end? I think we're saying, go ahead, give those budget kits a chance. Sometimes you are going to get disappointments. But sometimes what you anticipate being kind of disappointing could end up being really a win. Overall, I would not have given this kit beyond maybe 2 or 2.5 stars until seeing the completed work. And then overall, I gotta bump it up to like 3.5 stars, which actually is pretty amazing considering you go from, 2 to 2.5 up to 3.5 just because of the finished product. So yes, TEMU and other budget or companies that sell budget diamond painting full drill canvases, it is a little bit of a hit and miss. And there are some things that you need to be a little bit wary of and careful of. But I do think it is a needed aspect of this craft. And I do think you can find some real hidden gems in that world. Thank you for putting up with this super long video. I assure you, I will have spent a lot more time on this video than you have, but that doesn't change the fact that I appreciate you so, so much. That's it, guys. That's everything for now. I will, of course, come back. I will show you the completed canvases as I get to them, and then we'll get a better idea, just like this one. Thank you again for joining me. Like I always say, please practice kindness. You never know anyone's particular life situation. You don't know what people are going through. So just be a little extra kind, a little extra patient. It will go a very, very long way. I hope that you are having a wonderful day, and I'll see you again real soon.